The 22 long rifle is a legendary cartridge that has been in use since the late 1800s. Every day all around the world, hunters, farmers, sports shooters and genuine firearms enthusiasts shoot thousands of these tiny wee rounds. The 22 long rifle is great for small game hunting, plinking and of course target shooting. There are many different types of 22 long rifle rounds, from rat shot, subsonic, standard, high velocity and even hyper velocity. But how powerful is the 22 long rifle and how destructive can it be? I am admittedly by no means a scientist, and the way I test the 22 long rifle cartridge may not be the most conventional of methods. But I need to know the answer for when I hunt small game. I will shoot subsonic, standard, high velocity and even hyper velocity 22 long rifle rounds to find out what round has deeper penetration and which is the most destructive. These four types of 22 LR are perhaps the four most popular types of 22 long rifle ammo out and about. For destructiveness, we have these four water bottles that I will shoot. And for penetration, I will be using this block of wood. I will shoot the piece of wood and then I'll measure the depth that the bullet went into the piece of wood. The rifle I will use for this scientific experiment is a Winchester Wildcat. I have a full video on this rifle as well. The link for that video will be in the description below. First up is some Winchester Subsonic. These rounds are 40 grains and fly at just over 1,000 feet per second.
It was still pretty destructive. More destructive than I thought it would be. Right, here's the tiny wee bullet hole. Let's see how deep it went. It went about 7 mil.
Now some Aquila 22 LR, which is 38 grains and it flies at just over 1,200 feet per second.
Didn't do as much damage as I thought. Tiny hole in the back, tiny hole in the front. This hole's a wee bit bigger. Let's see how deep it went. This time it went 10 mil, a wee bit deeper.
Now the Browning, which is at 40 grains and travels over 1,400 feet per second.
Wee bit more destruction than the last. Look at that big exit wound right there. They'll nail a hero rabbit easily. Here's that tiny wee hole from the Browning, but let's see how deep it is. Nearly 25 mil.
The CCI Stinger is 32 grain and travels over 1,600 feet per second.
Okay, that is by far the worst. Here's the wee hole right there. Is 28 millimeters deep. Bloody hell.
So what did we learn? Admittedly, plastic bottles with water in them and just a slab of wood is not the best way to undergo this sort of experiment. Take as an example the first water bottle. Plastic bottle was brittle compared to the others and it also was a tad smaller. Both of these factors combined enabled the bottle to sort of explode. Meanwhile, the other bottles just ripped apart when they were shot. But the CCI Stinger totally decimated its water bottle and penetrated very deep into the piece of wood. So in my opinion, because of that first bottle, this test is sort of not conclusive. But it does not mean there is no useful information that we can decipher. If we eliminate the shooting of the water bottle with subsonic ammo, we still can see that the faster the bullet, the more destructive it was on the water bottles. The same goes for the depth that the bullets went into the slab of wood. But I must admit, I was only shooting from a distance of about 20 meters. The usual range that I shoot hares and rabbits at with a 22 LR is about 50 to 100 meters. With the information that I've provided from this test, we cannot also definitely say which round is quote unquote the best. For that we must test penetration at a distance of 50 or more meters and the accuracy of the rounds at 50 and 75 meters. I predominantly use the Browning BPR rounds when I go hunting small game with a 22 long rifle, but a majority of the time when I hunt small game these days, I will use my 22 Magnum instead to get that extra bit of oomph. Stay tuned as this is only part 1 of which 22LR round is the best. Remember to subscribe because you don't want to miss the next video in this series. If you want to learn more about the Winchester Wildcat, I do actually have a full video on that rifle and the link will be in the description below. Once again, I must say, thanks for watching.